Hello guys, Jayanam here, and I'm proud to present a kind of dynamic text box implemented with Python for Blender add-ons. This is the first version, and of course I integrated it into my JMesh add-on for precise editing in the primitive mode. Here I use a circle primitive. The operation is different, and I also activate the X mirror, and now you can draw a circle primitive mirrored onto the mesh, and you can use the new gizmo to move it around. But now you have this red little icon for the shape, for the primitive, which I call shape action, and when you click it, look at this, what happens. A real text box, an input field, is opened in the 3D view, and it has a caret, a cursor that you can move with the cursor keys, and then you can type in text and press the enter key, and the radius is set for the circle. Now press Ctrl left click to apply the difference operation. Then I draw in another circle and again set a precise radius. Press enter to apply. Then move it downwards and execute the difference. And the last one here at the bottom of the primitive. And you see it's really simple to use. You click the red icon and then you can directly type in the value. Okay, but now you ask, what is this new component? Well, basically it's a Python class. So let's have a look. It's derived from BL-UI widget. The link to the GitHub is added to the description below, but it is also integrated in this add-on JMesh Tools. It uses the Blender GPU shader module for painting, which is basically OpenGL. And you see it has some member variables and properties for the text, for the caret position. Of course, the caret has to be written with one R, for the colors and a maximum of input characters. And here in the update method in the base class, the badge for the built-in shader to the uniform color is created. This will be the background of the text box, which is painted with triangles. And in the update method of the derived class in the text box, the line for the caret is created. The X position has to be calculated depending on the current text input. Then there is a draw method to draw the badges, the background and the cursor. But the more complicated, the text input stuff, is done in this method text input. It is called in the base class BL-UI widget if the event value is press, or there is an ASCII key in the input, or special input keys that you can define in your derived class. In the text box, these are at the moment escape, enter, backspace, home, and left and right arrow key, and the delete key. So when I get a text input, I modify the text and the caret position. In the shape class, which is the base class for primitives, I have a method openInput, and here I create the text box. Then I register a callback method that is called when the text has changed. In this I check if escape or enter has been pressed. On escape I close the input, and on the enter key I apply the input. Okay, but now in my derived class for the circle primitive, which is called circle shape, I override the apply input, and here I can set the radius of the circle to the value of the text box, recreate the primitive, and then apply the input. This means the box is closed and the circle is repainted. And I guess the approach is smart enough to have more than one shape action. For example, here for the rectangle, one here at the bottom on the right side and another one at the top, for example to set the size for the edges. At the moment the text box displays Blender units only, but the next step will be to include the configured units. As I said, this is the first implementation. New features will come soon. Please support the development, perhaps by being my patron, this would be great. And follow me on my social media on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook. And of course don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to Jayanam, if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.